How can Lightworkers, healers and facilitators best support the shift? How can we call upon benevolent star beings and ground higher dimensional frequencies for maximum upliftment and support? We've been exploring these essential questions of the shift amongst the crop circles and the sacred stones of Avebury in the UK. There are energies we can all call upon to positively transform our lives. Jump in with us and inquire. So here we are at the Openhand Facilitator Gathering, the conference in Avebury, which we run annually. And this is really about activating Lightworkers, facilitators and healers in the shift. It's phenomenal work, beautiful work, tremendously alchemical, healing. And one of the crucial things we're working to heal is the loss of the interdimensional connection, the light language that you know, which comes in a myriad of different forms. Whether that's intuition, whether it's visioning, signs and synchronicities, sacred geometry, numerology, these kinds of things, these kinds of gifts that are inherent within us. And unfortunately, because of the density here on the planet, we've lost connection to those gifts. And what's more, those on the other side, our soul family, the tribes that we come from, we've lost connection to them as well. And they've felt that frustration. They've had to withdraw because of the intervention that's been here. Well, now a great healing is happening, and that density is being unraveled, unwound. But that's not a 5-minute process. We need to get into the challenges, the karmic disconnect, the pain, the trauma that people have felt. We need to get into that to honor it. We can't just paint a rosy love and light hue over the top, because this is visceral, this is really deep stuff, ingrained stuff through the aeons. But if we meet it, if we activate it, bring it to the surface and meet it, then we can activate, feel, unravel it. And what's more, not only are we healing for ourselves, but we're helping those in dimensions heal. Because why? We empathically connect with them. They know that we're honoring their pain. The crucial thing is not to judge, polarize, demonize, no matter what has happened. In truth, to me, there is no benevolent, malevolent as such, even though we use those terms. There are varying degrees of alignment and misalignment. A group may undertake a particular action, to protect against breakdown, for example, create a collective consciousness which is supportive and sustaining, but inadvertently remove sovereignty or resist the natural cycle of death and rebirth because of the trauma of breakdown of civilization, forgetting or not realizing that that's necessary because every crystallization of form has inherent instability encoded within it. Each iteration of reality is a constant evolution of the next form, the next perfection. We must honor that. We must allow the breakdown, take the lessons from it, evolve and move into the next form. So if a group, for example, wants to crystallize and hold a particular reality, well, that's understandable. If it wants to avoid the pain, that's understandable. But inadvertently, you're blocking the natural flow, the natural movement. And so what we're doing is we're communicating through our own experience how invaluable it is to be aligned with the natural movement, the toroidal flow itself, to have that channeling through you as the flower of life, and what the freedom of that feels like, to feel like you're a part of this great mystery, this great magic that is the divine, and really the cost of losing that, reflecting that. And through that process, which is an individual personal experience, but also reflected outwards, through that healing, we're rippling that possibility ever further afield. That, in essence, to me, is the deepest nature of healing, facilitation, light work. And that's what we're undertaking here at the conference in Avebury, this tremendously mystical place of the crop circle grand central and the various stone circles. That's what we're undertaking here.
The other question is, how do you perceive the planetary shift is going at this moment?
I feel really excited to be here while it's happening. I feel very clear about having my purpose, having a purpose being here. I'm excited for people to come into their purpose and to witness themselves discovering their purpose. That's exciting. For me, I'm here as an individual working with a collective of people. So I'm really bringing it into my individual self, right? And then on the planetary level, it all feels right, in that it feels it's happening with some kind of perfect harmony in a bigger picture. If I can pull back far enough and look at a cosmic picture, it all feels quite right to me.
So in this facilitation approach, what we're doing is we're looking at our own personal issues in society, seeing the patterns that are rife through society in relationships, how we live and work, how we react to physicality, how we disconnect from spirit. We're looking at these things in our own personal lives, and then we're connecting into the wider field, recognizing that we're working in layers of consciousness, a morphic field. So if you can empathize with those intervention energies that are influencing us, if you can empathize with why they're doing it, what is it that makes them feel that's okay to do, by looking at our own behaviors, taking ownership, that's absolutely crucial. Then if we do that, what happens is we're empathizing with the other in the field. We're not polarizing, we're not judging, we're not demonizing, because that simply holds in place that polarity, that fight mechanism, fight or flight mechanism, or control or victim, oppressor dynamic. So we're not judging in that way, but neither are we acquiescing to it either. We're calling it, we're illuminating it. The fact that you're prepared as an individual to take ownership of what happens to you in life, the fact that you're prepared to do that says, hey, look, I'm not sitting here being a judge and claiming any perfection. I'm seeing my own issues, and then I'm reflecting those out and saying, right, now I understand you. When you can empathize with your enemy to the degree that you feel his pain inside of yourself, he ceases to be your enemy. And at that point, he feels true compassion. Not acceptance of anything goes, but true compassion. And that encourages a letting go. That encourages change. The crucial thing is for me, for us to recognize that everything that happens to you out there is created from within. It's a co-creation. Nothing is done to you. And if we're prepared to accept that, it's the most empowering thing we can do, because when these situations manifest and present, the first inquiry is, well, why did I create it? Why did I manifest it? And the commonality, the common answer to that is where I get knotted up inside, where I twist inside, where I fragment because of some attachment, because of some need, because of some desire that I think I want, but don't necessarily do at a soul level. So I animate, express, I own what I create, I look at why I'm creating it, and I explore into the feelings, and I work to let go of the attachment. Now, as I do that, I'm creating an unraveling mechanism. And that unraveling mechanism, if I breathe it through me, and particularly through the chakras, I can ripple that through the field. I'm connecting up with these interdimensional groups that have taken control of the planet and life here, that have been influencing it, suppressing it, downgrading it. I'm rippling it through the field and saying, look, is that behavior acceptable? Does it serve you? Does it serve you in the long run? And is there a better way of being? Better, and that doesn't mean a judgment of what was. It means, is there a more aligned way of being that serves all life, not just one form of life? That inquiry is going to ripple, unravel, and ultimately create a new harmony that we are moving into. So rather than polarizing, which perpetuates the fight and the struggle, and constant reincarnation with the same dynamic, rather than that, we're taking ownership, we're working within ourselves individually, rippling the resolution through the field, the unraveling resolution, connecting up with these ET groups, these interdimensional groups, and giving them permission without judgment to change. Now, when we can do that, that's very exciting, because you're talking about an amplification, a huge amplification of the effect, planetary-wide. That's what we're experiencing right here, right now. It looks humble. To a casual outside observer, it appears humble. It is humble, but nevertheless tremendously effectual.
Can you imagine the role of the light worker in that shift?
The real pain in living in this world, in this reality, is not being yourself. Not physical pain or deprivation, it's not being yourself. Not being able to express your essence and feeling all that locked down and feeling unable to, or having the confidence or the wherewithal to show that and share it and reach your full potential, to know that it's there deep down but not accessing it, and for whatever reason. So to be given tools to unlock that, you know, this is the essence of life itself. Right, so with that,
Yeah, thank you.
how much am I getting paid for this, did you say?
Well, you get to get your freedom back, I would say.
Freedom back, okay. Oh yeah.
So the crucial thing in being able to open into higher dimensions and connect up with interdimensionals, ETs, if you like, benevolent ETs, is you've got to clear the energy field first. And it feels like we've done a lot of that work, and we've connected up in the group and cleansed a great deal out, but also then realign lower dimensional energies, like black snake, for example, what we call black snake. And because that's happening, and because you've got this increased toroidal flow through the group connected to the area, then what you've got is you've got a change of the energy now. We can feel these higher vibrational frequencies coming in. And it was highly synergistic, not just synchronistic, but synergistic that led to the crop circle this morning that we were in. And that felt like that final integration of these lower dimensional energies, and you could palpably feel the interdimensionals, the higher dimensionals wanting, ready to come in. So it felt right to come to this place, the avenue, and to use the stones. What do the stones do? Well, of course they hold an energy, but they also invoke it inside and create the space at different frequencies based on what each individual feels. And as a result of that, then you can be connecting up and bringing that energy in. And I'm feeling a lot of resonance coming in. For example, on the 65, 6, 70. And to bring that down, now you're not strictly bringing it down through the dimensions. What's happening is there's resonance going on in those frequencies, and then the energy is cascading, it's triggering the lower ones. So it's a cascading effect. And that's what we're working to do now. It feels tremendously productive. Hey, how you doing, dude? You come to give us a bit of energy. He wants to be a movie star. Yeah, so that's what we're working on now. And everything is speaking. The clouds are speaking. You know, the synchronicities are speaking. The connections are speaking. The vibrational feelings are speaking. So it feels like a very powerful part, very powerful, pivotal moment in this gathering, in this facilitator gathering. Yeah, it feels highly productive.
Can you imagine the role of the light worker in that shift?
Well, I don't imagine it, I'm doing it. So I think the role of a light worker is to bring that message forward. And how do we do that? We do that by how we creative expression. How do we bring that forward in our lives? How do we live from that soul level? How do we embody that around maybe those who aren't aware of this? Embodiment to me is so important, because when you can embody the message and bring that forth in your soul expression, then people will start to see that. And then I think that becomes your essence. So you embody it, and then you bring it forth.
What we're really talking about doing is activating the Merkaba, what the ancients called the Merkaba. What does that mean exactly? What's the practical expression of that? Well, you've got the speed of the higher dimensions. We've got the plane overhead. We've got the speed of the higher dimensions, and it's really fast vibration. You can feel the interconnection. You're picking up weaving signs and synchronicity, sacred geometry, and that's happening very quickly. You're infusing it through subtle perceptions and nuances, and it's a beautiful energy, and it can take you up out of the body. Crucial thing is to be integrating it here and now. How do we do that? We've got to purify the lower self, the physical, the emotional, the mental. So particularly on the physical plane, the kind of diet we're consuming, how we work the physical body, not getting attached, not conditioning it too much. Training it, yes, but not rigid conditioning. And the emotional body, it's connecting, but with a degree of detachment. So you're not being invested in the dramas. You're feeling it, but not invested in it, especially in families, friends, situations. So you're opening out the emotional body, and the mind is picking up the patterns and the synchronicities, but not fixating on some kind of intention that I have to do this or that. So really, the being is picking up active attention, and the mind is directing to the connectivity of the inward flow. So you've got that fast vibration, and the lower self is rising to meet it. The energy is cascading in and activating all these different layers.
What came in this morning, Andrasta energy, I could feel that it was so high frequency, very, almost like a laser beam, coming straight down into the heart, but at the same time so still and gentle. My goodness, I think Open used the word, new archetypal energy, and I don't know how, but that definitely resonates. It feels like a complete configuration, literally mind-blowing.
So, and then you're holding that, and you're working to come from that in day-to-day life, and then what you're doing is you're effectively cutting channels of light through the creative action of your life, but weaving it from a different place, from the higher density, from the higher paradigm. That's what we're working to facilitate. And working with these high nodal centers of the land and the communication with the higher dimensionals through, for example, the stone circles or the crop circles. We're working to communicate and connect, feeling sense, and channeling that energy through us and living with that energy. That's the sense, the feeling, the experience of the new 5D being that we're coming into. That's what we're working to facilitate in this tremendous shift that is unfolding around us right now.
If you've been inspired by what we've shared, explore the planetary facilitation work of Openhand. Join us on retreat. Transform your world. Uplift your life.
Come into the love bubble.
Come on, we're forming a love pool.
Good morning, aviators. Having any fun yet? Give me 50. Give me 50. Wow, I'm impressed.
Goggles and skull.
Goggles and skull. It's not Biggles, it's Top Gun.
Oh, Top Gun. I think it's changed from when it began.
Look, smile.
I'm gonna come back as Cato Corleone.
Are we ready for you with some new moves?
Say bye, say hi, say bye.
Bye bye.